Hi, Toby Hodges from Yachting World. I'm at the International Multi-Hull Show here in Grand Mott. Always on the lookout for new things, and I've come across a cracker here. This is the Overboat personal foiler, and they've let me have a go on it. So join me out here and let's see what it's like to take flight silently. So here's my little steering wheel, carbon, and my dashboard telling me obviously speed in knots, that I'm in neutral at the moment, GPS range, 76% battery power. This will run for 2 hours with its 3 lithium batteries in cruising mode, so that's 12 knots or 1 hour at flat out. It's got 3 lithium ion batteries in it. It's a 4.5 kilowatt electric engine, and it's a pretty neat little stable catamaran, so you can have this as a foiler or a non-foiler. And yeah, what's going to happen now, I hope, is we're going to select forward, that's reverse forward, and that's a little paddle shift throttle. So I'm going to put that on and try and hold the camera, and then from 8 knots it's going to go into foiling mode. So sorry, 4 to 8 knots is takeoff, and then 8 knots and above we should be flying. Let's give it a go. So selecting forward, F for forward. So when I hold this now, we should be going, here we go, silently forward. Let's give us a bit of a launch space. Here we go, 3 knots, 4 knots, we're starting to fly. And there we are, silent flight. That is pretty easy. 15 knots. We are flying as easily as you can. Better return to port. I mean, I don't know how far you can go on a personal craft like this. They might think I've stolen it. Little bit of waves. Still very stable here. Right, let's drop down into displacement. Splash. Still got dry shoes. Oh, this is quite good fun. Loving the steering wheel. Feels like I'm a night rider. Right then, there's the marina entrance. Let's give flight another go. So, a little bit of chop again, but I reckon a couple of seconds and we'll be up into flight mode again. So this is displacement, 3 knots. Right, and now I'll go flat out. 4, 6, 7, 8, silent flying. $15 knots. No wake, no noise. No sails, but had to have a go. Yee-hoo! Right, I better switch off. Back down into displacement. Nice gentle landing. There we go. Corners like she's on rails at full flight. Still at 11 knots coming into harbour. Splash down. So there are 3 foils. You've obviously got the engine foil itself and then 2 below here, and they are adjusting all the time. So 100 times per second they're adjusting your ride height for this smooth ride that it gives. They've just been speaking to the designer of the boat, and they're built here near here in Set. And yeah, it's that electric management system which is the key to a dry, stable ride. And apparently even in up to 20 knots of wind, it's still really stable and a dry cruising ride. So these, you can see how the clips there lift, open to lift the drive up, the foils up, and there's the same under his feet here to lift up those when you are launching the boat. And this single one starts at 29,000 euros. We'll be making a double foiling one, which is starting 4,000, and then you have a non-foiling version of both, which starts at 14,000. You can see this one, the next customer going for a go. Foils below the water there, so they are about 1 metre deep, just over 1 metre deep. And there's the frost at the back. Now to find that 20,000 euros.